Legislators passed a draft bill that would guarantee unions at least 2 places on the Public Investment Corporation's board. This would ensure transparency and greater worker participation. So why then has it not happened yet? Frank Nxumalo is a research officer at the Federation of Unions of South Africa and joins us now for more on that. Thanks so much for your time. So we appreciate you waiting during that period. So what are the challenges in actually getting representation on these boards? Why the delay, do you think?
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that it has happened that year. If I can take you back to the time when Malusi Gigaba was still the Minister of Finance, first it was our affiliate, the PSA, that tried to talk to him. I've written letters to him to try and take that issue at ministerial level, but he was never interested. And so that decision to have the 2 union representatives on board has not happened. And it's a very unfortunate. But, we're not discouraged. As FEDUSA and our affiliates, we're going to fight until we get at least those 2 representations. You will find that, Section 6 of the PIC Act allows that to happen. So the legislative instruments are there. It's just a question of political will that is not making that thing happen.
How are you going to fight?
No, we will campaign. We'll keep on pressurizing them to make. We'll even campaign to Parliament and the others and put pressure. At one time, this campaign started way back in 2017. We actually thought of withdrawing from our funds. Our members' money, make the biggest portion of this. So we can still withdraw our money and find another asset manager. Because for us, the primary thing, is the protection of the livelihoods, because pensions are the livelihoods. So we cannot be reckless with that. So we'll keep on piling the pressure so that we have the union representatives, so that we have a voice in where the monies are invested.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Why is it so important to actually have worker representations on these boards, especially now that you find the Government Employees Pension Fund has written off 7 billion in investments?
Yes, that's massive. It is important so that we safeguard, so that we have a voice in where the... Look, what is happening now, and it's unfortunate, is the senior politician in the country from all political parties. They have been pressurizing the PIC to get, those loans. So what they are using is a loophole in the GPEF Act, which allows for a 5%, at least of 5% of the total investment to be invested in unlisted companies. They call that facility the Isibaya Fund. So they are using that loophole. So what we are saying is FEDUSA, as Labour Movement in general, that we don't want, a public service pension to be invested in unlisted entities. So what happens now, the case of Lancaster, which was a PE partner to Steinhoff, it's very risky. That's what I'm trying to say. If a company is unlisted, because there are no check and balances first to protect the investment, and second is to grow. Because when you invest, you also want it to grow. Yeah. So that's why I want it to be in listed companies. It is that demand, and also the representative of labor to be on the boards of the PIC and in all entities where the GPF invest, public service funds. Yeah. Yes.
Do you think that government workers' money is safe in the Government Employees Pension Fund and the PIC?
Well, that's a difficult question. it's like saying a house is safe. It's very difficult. Because, you take the Steinhoff debacle. Steinhoff was one of the most prestigious companies on the JSE, listed on the JSE. But, look at the scandal that happened. So, so what we learn from that, it is not just enough that a company be listed on the JSE. You also have to have, integrity and ethical management, because what happened is that it was like an accounting scandal. So you can't guarantee just because a company is listed. So to answer your question, it is difficult, but that's the best way of doing it. I mean, you err on the correct side that, I mean, the money must be invested with credible listed companies. That's where we want our money to go.
But you should have concern when you have incidents like Steinhoff, when you have the Government Employees Pension Fund writing off 7 billion rand in investments, because ultimately that affects workers' pension funds.
Yes, it does. And that's all because of that loophole, which allows it to, that 5% loophole, which allows it to invest in unlisted companies. And also, like, that Lancaster it was just a new kid on the block, a startup, and it was very risky investment. So I think it will be prudent for that to be reviewed so that it doesn't happen in the future. I mean, 7 billion, I mean, it's a massive amount of money.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for your time and your insight. We do appreciate it.
Okay.
That, of course, was Frank Nxumalo, Research Officer at the Federation of Unions of South Africa. Now, the